1,427 clues have come and gone, but 26 new ones are headed your way as part of this Valentine's Day edition of Disney 100 Jeopardy. Welcome in. As always, I am your host, Bryan Perri, and thank you so much for joining me. Let's jump into the rules real quick. This episode is dedicated to Valentine's Day, but the rules are exactly the same, which means if you want to cheat, go right ahead. I won't tell anyone. Be my guest. In last week's episode 52, the final Jeopardy category was Love at First Line, where I read you a spoken line. That's the key right there, a spoken line. Not a line in a song, but a spoken line that was spoken between two eventual romantic partners. You had to identify who those partners were from that one line. That, of course, carries over to this episode 53, which is the Valentine's Day special. So happy Valentine's Day to all of you out there, or happy Singles Awareness Day, if that's what you are choosing to celebrate instead. I came up with 4 other categories that are kind of Valentine's Day-ish. So, yeah, let's see what they are. Once again, Love at First Line kicks things off. The second category for Valentine's Day, hearts. Simple enough. Third category you'll be quizzed on. I mentioned it before, happy Singles Awareness Day. This is all about the singles who don't need no partner in the Disney universe. The fourth category is your theme park category of the week, flowers and chocolat. And the fifth and final category you'll be quizzed on in this episode 53 is I Ship It. And that is all about ships, not relationships, but actual ships that you see in different Disney movies. Last week I did planes, and this week I'm doing ships. Maybe next week there'll be another mode of transportation you'll be quizzed on. But for now, it's all about Valentine's Day. So let's kick things off with the cupcake round. It's the easiest round of the game. Each of these clues worth just 200 points each. Hopefully you go 5 for 5 and bank 1,000 points under your belt. Let's kick things off with the first category of the game. It is Love at First Line. Very funny. So what now? I reckon you want to kiss? Once again, remember, you're naming the 2 characters who are eventual romantic partners who are involved in this scene. Good luck. Okay, time is up. Prince Naveen responds with kissing would be nice, yes? And that means it's Tiana and Naveen from Princess and the Frog.
Very funny. So what now? I reckon you want to kiss?
All right, let's move on to hearts now for 200. The villain in Alice in Wonderland. That, of course, is the one and only Queen of Hearts.
Her Royal Majesty, the Queen of Hearts. And the King.
On to the singles for 200. This single queen refused to do the simple act of providing her blessing to her sister when her sibling wanted to marry a prince. The answer, of course, is Queen Elsa from Frozen. And not only did she not provide her blessing, she told Anna she didn't know what she was talking about. Then Anna responded, and things got a little hectic. On to flowers and chocolates. First clue. The Walt Disney World theme park that hosts the Flower and Garden Festival. The answer here, of course, is a category that we did last week. So if you haven't played episode 52 yet, go back and play that. But the answer is Epcot. Let's finish off the cupcake round with I Ship It. Seen here is a ship featured in a hit 1997 film. A 20th Century Fox film that at the time broke the record for the biggest financial box office in history. That, of course, is the Titanic. And don't forget, 20th Century Fox is now owned by Disney, and considering we are now more than 50 episodes into this show and over 250 categories into this show, yeah, I'm going to start reaching into the 20th Century Fox bucket. But that does it for the cupcake round. Once again, hopefully you went 5 for 5, but if not, fear not, because here comes the second round, and each of these clues are worth twice as much. We begin with Love at First Line. Put me down, put me down. No, pick me up, pick me up. I tell you what, it is kind of difficult to not mimic how they said the line in the movie because I don't want to give it away. And might I say, my imitation of Jane would be phenomenal, but that is the correct answer. Jane and Tarzan from Tarzan.
Oh, put me down! Put me down! No, pick me up, pick me up, pick me up!
Let's move on to the second clue from the hearts category. According to Frozen, this thaws a frozen heart. The correct answer is...
An act of true love will thaw a frozen heart.
Love will thaw. Love.
Let's move on to the singles for the second time. This character was so adamant about not being forced into a relationship that she defeated 3 potential suitors in an archery competition just to get them to go away. That is hilarious. The correct answer is Merida.
And I'll be shooting for my own hand.
I love Merida because she's like, listen, no, I don't need this. I'm ripping this, I'm embarrassing you in front of all your families. Yeah, love Merida. Move on now. Here comes the theme park category. Once again, it's flowers and chocolate for 4. You'll find a giant floral display of this character's face sitting below the train station as you enter Disneyland. The correct answer is Mickey Mouse, unless we're celebrating Minnie Mouse, and sometimes Disneyland changes it to Minnie, but the correct answer is Mickey Mouse. If you said Minnie, technically, on a technicality, I guess you could be right, depending on when you're watching this, because I believe in March they do it, so yeah, Mickey or Minnie, either one. Let's go ship it again for 400. The legendary Captain Hook sails aboard this ship. Oh, but of course it is the Jolly Roger.
Give me a career as a buccaneer, it's the life of a pirate for me. Oh, the life of a pirate for me.
Okay, how you doing? 10 clues down. I feel like sometimes I write out these clues and I say, you know what, this is going to be an easier episode, this is going to be a harder episode. I feel like this one's maybe a little easier, and I really hope I didn't offend any of you by saying that. But yeah, I would say this isn't the hardest episode yet, but I am boosting the difficulty a little bit with this 600-point round. It starts with love at first line. I don't need anyone causing trouble in my camp. Man, I tell you what, a lot of these romantic relationships that we grew up watching really didn't kick off with romantic beginnings. This one being an example, this one actually being an extreme example. The correct answer is Shang and Mulan.
I don't need anyone causing trouble in my camp.
We're on to hearts for 6. Tarzan, an original Walt Disney Records soundtrack. Track number 2. Correct answer is You'll Be in My Heart. We're moving on to the singles for the 3rd time. Despite having numerous potential matches yearning for his love, this character ends up single after the one character he wants to have 6 or 7 strapping young boys with chooses a kidnapping beast over him. Look, Gaston is unquestionably a bad human being. He's evil and he's mean and he's inconsiderate. But, hear me out here, the girl that he would love to marry is choosing a creature who kidnapped her father instead of him. So, with that said, maybe he deserves some sympathy. So, you know what? Goodbye, Belle. Here comes Flowers and Chocolat for 6. Pick up some chocolate-based treats at this old-school candy shop located at the bottom of Magic Kingdom's Main Street, USA. That would be the confectionery. The final clue of the 600-point round brings us to I Ship It. Unlike other Disney Cruise Line ships, Disney's upcoming 7th vessel, seen here, was previously owned by a different company. Its new official name is this. What is the Disney Adventure? Okay, 15 clues down. Once again, I think that got a little harder, but this is even going to get tougher than that. You don't have to answer them, so you don't have to risk the points. But again, this isn't for real money. We move on. 800-point round begins with Love at First Line. What are you doing? Don't you know this is an exclusive club? Only explorers get in here, not just any kid off the street with a helmet and a pair of goggles. The correct answer is Ellie and Carl.
What are you doing? Ah! Don't you know it's an exclusive club? Only explorers get in here. Not just any kid off the street with a helmet and a pair of goggles.
We are on to the 4th clue from Hearts. That little green glowy thing Moana carries around. Oh, that would be the Heart of Te-Fiti. Speaking of Moana, what? Moana 2 coming out later this year? That's right, Disney announced it this past week. And I'll be honest, I appreciate Disney cooking this up in secret. Because normally Disney's like, hey guys, we have a movie coming out in 16 years and we want you to get really excited for it. No, they didn't do it this time. This time they were like, it's coming out later this year and you had no idea about it. So that's pretty cool. I'm excited. You know where to find me this November. Moana 2. Probably midnight premiere for this guy. Here comes the 3rd clue from the 800-point round. We're going to the singles again. This Parisian despicable human remained single until his death, but did lust for a specific woman so much so that he threatened to burn down an entire city because she wouldn't give him the time of day. Catching my breath from that run-on sentence I wrote. But the correct answer is Frollo.
Why I see her dancing there, why her smoldering eyes still scorch my soul.
I say it every time. Greatest villain song ever. We move on to the Flowers and Chocolate category for the 4th time. Found at Disney's California Adventure, this store can also be spotted at Disney Springs, where they give out free samples of chocolate. I read online that they're not giving out free samples at California Adventure anymore. Maybe they brought it back. I have no idea. I'm not on the West Coast, but they do give them out at Disney Springs. The correct answer is Ghirardelli. And the final clue of the 800-point round brings us to I Ship It. Seen here is a ship captained by Blackbeard in Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. What's its name again? The correct answer is the Queen Anne's Revenge. So there you have it. 20 clues are down, but 6 remain, including Final Jeopardy. But before we get there, you know what time it is. It is time for the most overly dramatic, soundtrack-infused, unnecessarily spotlighted part of the game. The 1,000-point round. Hit it. Okay, toughest part of the game is here. If you're 20 for 20 so far, oh boy, this is likely where your cookie crumbles. We begin with Love at First Line. Oh my monsieur, your name seems to cover all of Europe. Now this right here is the coolest introduction ever. Thomas O'Malley is just singing. He's singing, he spots Duchess, and he's like still singing. He's like, I'm not gonna get distracted right now. And then Duchess just interjects with her one spoken line. So that is the correct answer. Thomas O'Malley and Duchess from the Aristocats.
Why, Monsieur, your name seems to cover all of Europe.
On to Heart's final clue. In Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the huntsman fools the evil queen into thinking he's delivered the heart of Snow White in a box. But instead, it was a heart originally belonging to this kind of animal. Yep, so the huntsman tried to pull a fast one on the evil queen. She asked for the heart of Snow White in this heart box, and he's like, yeah, here it is, she's dead. And she actually wasn't dead, no. Instead, he let her free and put in the heart of an innocent little pig, which is also kind of sad. But that is the correct answer, a pig. The evil queen fell for it until her partner? Are they in a the mirror? The friend, pal, acquaintance? Informed her that, yeah, that's actually the heart of a pig, sorry.
The heart of a pig you hold in your hand.
The heart of a pig.
Let's go meet our final single for 1,000 points. This animated middle school band teacher lives in New York City, the Big Apple, and was single before falling in a manhole. Who is Joe Gardner? On to Flowers and Chocolate's final clue. Now, this isn't really flower, it's more plant based, but you know what? Grasping at straws here. So here we go. The oldest living tree at the Disneyland Resort is more than 150 years old and stands at approximately a gigantic 3 feet. Guests will spot it as they cruise on this attraction. The correct answer is the Storybook Land Canal Boats. Let's go on to the final clue on the board before Final Jeopardy. It belongs to I Ship It, and it's worth 1,000. Rather than coasting along the waters, this ship takes to the skies in 2002's Treasure Planet. The correct answer is the RLS Legacy.
Jim, this is our ship, the RLS Legacy.
Wow. So there you have it, 25 clues down, 1 remains, but it happens to be the 1 clue of the game that will ultimately determine how proud of yourself you will be for the next 7 days. Get ready to wager it all. Let's see the final Jeopardy category in this episode 53. Disney Rails. I mentioned before that I did planes last week, and this week we just did ships, and now we're going to trains. Now, I've done trains in the past, but trains were in Disney parks. This is all about trains that appear in Disney films. What I will do is I will show you a snippet of a scene that showcases a train in the scene, and you'll have to identify what movie that train is from. It has nothing to do with Valentine's Day, but neither does next week's Jeopardy, which this category will carry over to. So with that, make those wagers. Okay, time is up. Let's see the final clue in this episode 53. Well, there you have it. There's your snippet, and you identify what film this train was spotted in. Good luck. Okay, time is up. The correct answer, and the final correct answer of this episode 53 is Lady and the Tramp. And that will do it for this episode of Disney 100 Jeopardy. You know the deal. If you like what you saw, be sure to subscribe and click that bell icon. Hello, bell. This way, you're notified every time we come out with brand new content. I did post a video a few days ago on the history behind the "I'm going to Disney World" phrase that MVPs exclaim after they win a championship, or like this weekend, the Super Bowl. Be sure to check that out if you want to see the history behind how that phrase came to be. I'll see you on Wednesday for Inside 300 to catch you up on your Disney news, and then next Saturday, it is episode 54 of Disney 100 Jeopardy. I've been your host, Bryan Perri. Till then.
Bye-bye.